This is when a game brainwashes the player? Honestly.
Video games are an amazing piece of media. They can tell a story that you can not only experience, but also interact with. But what happens when instead of you interacting with the game interacts with you? Only
What?
you. Get out of my head! Get out of my... Far Cry 5 is a game about a silly police officer who gets trapped in a basin with a cult. Alright, maybe we need a little more context. A group of police officers are sent to Hope County, Montana with the goal of arresting a man named Joseph Seed for kidnapping with the intent to harm. He surprisingly gives up very easily, which seems too good to be true.
What game?
Because it is. The cult cuts all communication to the outside world, and because of existing global conflict, nobody seems to care about the small town in Montana. You, playing as the deputy, are meant to take down the entire cult, starting with Joseph Seed's heralds, Faith, John, and the star of today's show, Jacob. Up until this point in the game, the cult has proved to be a massive power, being able to manipulate people's minds with a drug called Bliss. The cult has also been known to utilize torture.
I am going to play KS I News Song.
Hope County has 3 main regions, each now taken over by one of the heralds. The important one today is Jacob's region in the Whitetail Mountains. Upon wreaking a lot of havoc in the Whitetail Mountains, old brother Jacob will get a little upsetty spaghetti, and he'll radio to you with a nice, friendly, reassuring message.
There's someone out there pretending to be a soldier. They are killing our brothers and sisters and putting this project in jeopardy. I want this coward to know that they have my attention. My hunters are coming for you. There's nowhere you can run.
This game looks
You'll be
fun.
notified that you are being hunted. Which totally isn't terrifying or anything. When I first played the game, I browned my little pantaloonies when I saw that. But that isn't so bad. You've taken on the cult's finest before, so this should be no
Oh, arrow to the knee. I like first Matt Pat video was the arrow to the knee.
We wake up to see our old friend Pratt tying us to a chair.
Like, the bones
a slideshow is projected on the wall showing different prey that has been torn apart, and predators eating the prey. And the main man then decides to make an appearance.
We have forgotten what it is to be strong.
Is that the cult guy?
You know, our heroes used to be gods.
Ninja?
And now our heroes are godless.
KSI?
Weak. Feeble. Diseased.
Mike Tyson?
We let the weak dictate to the powerful, and then we are shocked to find ourselves adrift.
He gives a little speech about how it's important to cull the herd. Culling the herd meaning to reduce or control the size of something, such as a herd, by removal, as by hunting or slaughter, of especially weak or sick individuals. This seems to be Jacob's explanation for all of the atrocious things the cult has done. It was in the interest of sacrificing the few for the many. Jacob then opens a small wooden box which begins playing the song Only You by the Platters, which seems to have a weird effect on you, and the others in the room. We wake up to see a room similar to the one we were just in, except this time there's a gun on the table and we aren't tied down. So, we start killing, because that is what we do. This is a new area, and we're still getting used to it. Depictions of dead animals are sprawled on the walls, and the word train is written at the end of this hallway. But you don't have time to read that. You've got people to kill.
Yeah, are these... Yeah, I guess they are. Oh, bad guys.
Until finally, you go down a fun little slide and the dream ends.
Was it a dream?
We then wake up to see a nice friendly group of people who came in to recover bodies.
Why am I all stuck on corpse duty? Holy shit!
They then take us back to their bunker, where stupid idiot Tammy is a big meanie head.
No better.
What was I supposed to do?
She explains that it's unsafe to bring us back here and that she's
seen what it does to people. You haven't.
But based Eli says screw the 19th Amendment.
I don't get it.
He's staying here. Then Eli decides to see if you're the real deal and sends you on a rescue mission to find 4 hostages that the cult took.
I'm counting on you.
But we gotta be real stealthy. Because if the cult sees us, they'll shoot the hostages. After murking the cultists, We rescue the hostages and discover that the cult has taken more hostages to a place called Devil's Drop, where they plan to drop the hostages. Because, of course, they do. Once again, we go ham style on the silly little cult people, and now we've gained Eli's trust. Yay! We do some driving around and clearing the streets before...
We're in another dream or what?
We see Pratt having a conniption, which isn't too abnormal, so whatever, and then Jacob shows up. But this time, it seems he brought a little guest. Mr. Joseph Seed decides to tell us a little story.
We're in pain. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh, huh? You're not the only one to be tested.
He tells us about his dead wife, who he was getting ready to have a child with, and actually, I'll let him tell the story.
And one day she was gonna go visit a friend.
What?
There was an accident. The Lord take it. They rushed me to a hospital and put me in a room with this little pink bundle stuffed with tubes. And they said that I had to be strong because my little girl was gonna live. God was looking out for our daughter. And they left me alone in the room with her. And in that moment, I knew that God was testing me. He was laying out a path before me, and all I had to do was choose.
What the hell?
So I put my hand on my little girl's head. I heard God's plan for me. So I took my fingers and I put them on that little plastic tube that was taped to her angelic face, and I pinched it shut.
Huh?
And after a little while, her legs began to kick and kick. And then nothing. Stillness. Release. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. Pain. Sacrifice. These are all part of his test. And we have to prove that we can serve God, no matter what he asks.
Oh, jeez, bro.
You know what time it is. This time, we know what we're doing. Killing fellers even faster, with Jacob in the background giving us very kind motivation.
Good. Call the herd.
He's such a nice fellow. We see the word hunt written on the end of the hallway this time, and a deer runs across, guiding us to new targets that we may not have seen on our first time through. No longer are we merely trying to survive, now we're trying to become more acquainted with this area, and trying to find out exactly what's going on here. This time, after going down the super mega fun slide, the mission doesn't just end. We get more of the level to explore. Right at the very end, we turn the corner to one final faceless enemy. We wake up in the average New York living conditions.
Put the fries in the bag. I'm gonna kick your butt!
And get back to our regular routine of killing scumbags. We head on back to the Whitetail Militia hideout, the Wolf's Den, and Eli tells us about a fellow member of the militia who's being brainwashed by Jacob. And it's our job to sneak into the place he's located and play some rock music to reverse the brainwashing. Right? Because that's how that works. Because the platters are like doo-wop, so rock is like, I don't know. I just do what I'm told. After finding this poor fellow... What? After finding this poor fellow strapped to the chair, it's time to have some classic Far Cry gameplay. I wonder if Tammy has something.
DMZ?
Tammy, what the hell? She wants us to go destroy some thingy-mabobs on radio towers. I don't know. We do that, beat the piss out of this random cultist, and then give this truck a nice little love tap before... Not again!
So, whoa. Did we just black out?
We wake up awfully hungry, and Jacob gives us some mystery meat.
you must be hungry. Yeah. Did you know it takes 10 days for civilization to collapse?
We can see Pratt shaving Jacob's neck with a very sharp knife. It's clear that at any moment Pratt could kill Jacob and no one could stop him. However, he doesn't, which is an amazing display of not only the control Jacob has over people, but also the confidence he has in this control. He then goes on to tell us a cute little story about how he and his buddy got stranded in the desert during the Gulf War, and how eventually he had to eat his friend to survive. Which doesn't make me feel any better about the mystery meat he just gave us. But you know the drill. It's time to go through this fun little obstacle course. This time, we're even more acquainted with the setting, finding even more areas with enemies, killing the enemies even faster, and progressing through the level much more smoothly.
I mean, bing bong, dude.
Then, we finally get to the end, and wake back up. Except this time, we're back in the cage from before. It's dark outside, and Pratt tells us about how he's going to get us out of here.
Okay, we're gonna get out of here. Okay, only you. Only you. Hey, what about me? What about me? You aren't strong enough.
Hop off it, Pratt. Pratt starts to explain how Jacob seems to have some big plan or method here, but because Pratt is so unbelievably hysteric, he's not making any sense. The people discover that we're missing, and Pratt starts to freak out once again. Like, Brody, calm down. It's not like you've been put through mental anguish by a maniac cultist who has killed and tortured countless people. It's okay, though, because he's actually the GOAT, and he ended up pushing us onto a truck, which helped us escape. Okay, now it's time to deal with the worst mission in the game, the Barren Lumber Mill. Liberating the lumber mill itself isn't so bad. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's designed better than most other cult outposts. It's the mission that takes place after that sucks an unbelievable degree of butthole. We find a girl named Jess who... Hold on. Shut up, woman! She wants us to go with her to save some hostages from a dude named the Cook, a guy who burns people alive with a flamethrower. Notice how I described that in like 6 seconds? Well, apparently Jess doesn't know anything about how to summarize because it takes her forever to get done talking about him. On top of this, she runs at the pace of the average Rust player, and to top all of this off, she's wearing maybe the most trash fit known to man. Then we kill the Cook.
Dutch was right. Cook's dead and I don't feel anything.
Well, I sure do. The end. I'm done talking about this stupid mission. Alright, it's finally time. Let's see what Ed Sheeran has in store for us now.
Wait, so how do we... We're in the cage? I thought we broke out.
Don't worry, you'll be out of here soon enough. Did you think you were free? Your little buddy went to a whole lot of trouble for nothing. That's okay. He knows better now. I told you, you're not a hero. You are a tool. And you know your purpose. You've known it from the beginning.
One final time we go through the course, killing everything that moves. Now, we are completely comfortable with the setting. We know where everything is. We know all the guns, we know all the enemies. We hurry through the course, turning every person we see into gray dust, but suddenly, there's no more gray dust. Suddenly, the bodies start to really fall to the ground. We make one final push and turn the corner to shoot Eli.
Who's Eli?
Only you could make this world seem right.
Wasn't that the good guy?
Make the darkness bright. Only you. Hey, only you could have gotten this close. Only you could have earned his trust. always only ever you. Good work. You did it. You passed your test. You made your sacrifice. But now, you're alone. And you're weak. And we know what happens to the weak. I call the herd. It's what I do. I'll be outside waiting for you.
Wait, so this is real?
This is among the most shocking moments I've ever experienced in a game, and also the most layered, because at this moment we realized that Jacob wasn't just brainwashing the player character, he was brainwashing the player. So let's rewind and break down exactly how Jacob did this. To do that, we first need to understand something I find fascinating: subliminal messaging. Subliminal messaging is a technique that uses hidden images or words to influence people's attitudes and behaviors without their awareness. How does this apply to Far Cry? Well, during the dream sections, there are all sorts of subliminal messages scattered around the map, the most significant of which being the text at the end of this hallway. The first time going through, we see the word train. This being our first time, it's possible that we consciously read this, however, because it's not very helpful, it's easily disregarded. For the second time through, we see the word hunt along with a deer running to the left section of the hallway, something that you may not have even explored on your first time through. So this deer running to the left, along with the subliminal message to hunt, guides us that direction, only to discover more people we can kill. This level also introduces the new section of the map. In hindsight, this makes sense.
Whoa.
The entire time Jacob was training us to kill Eli, and in order to do that we needed to have been in the bunker first. The level ends here because the first time the deputy had never been in the bunker before, but Jacob left the deputy in the hotel intentionally so that Eli would find them and take them back to the bunker. Which is why on the second time through, we get to see more of the map, because now the deputy understands what the rest of the map would look like.
Yeah, but how?
The entrance to this next section even resembles the bunker's cascading entrance. On our third time going through the level, we see the word kill on the wall, and a wolf runs to the left just like the deer did last time. But unlike before, where we were hunting for our targets, this time we know where they are, and our only necessary task is to kill them. Throughout all of these levels, there has been a strong emphasis on the importance of not only killing, but doing so quickly. We would constantly hear Jacob making remarks on our process, saying things like,
Yes, sacrifice the weak. Good. Not bad.
He's always encouraging the kills, making us feel like the path we're following is the intended one, and not leaving us to second guess ourselves. At the very end, upon killing the faceless enemy, every time he will remark,
Perfect.
further encouraging this one important kill at the end. We can also see those familiar messages on the wall behind the enemy. On the final level, we see the word sacrifice on the wall. I don't believe this has any subliminal effect, however, it is worth mentioning. In the final part where we kill Eli, it finally becomes clear that the game was playing you all along. When I first played the game, I actually ended up dying to the final enemy on my first time through.
I just
Because of the way
if
he's
I ever
placed,
play
it
this, I'll
provides
probably
an easy
forget.
way for him to surprise you,
Probably not,
which
though.
ensured that in the future, I wouldn't leave any time for him to kill me. Of course, we know how that worked out. I think it's very fascinating that the game relied not on a script of killing Eli, but rather the game is so confident that you will, because of the way they set everything up, that they don't need to script anything. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go listen to some of my favorite music. Wrong one! Wrong one!
That's wild. That's so why it's Far Cry? Now I'm like, fuck, man. I guess it does brainwash the player. God, was that spoilers? I've never even Far Cry is I've never heard the series before.